Now that we've learned about the font property, we can do some basic text manipulation. There's still a lot more to learn though. Now, just like in the previous video, we have the same basic paragraph, we have the exact same markup, the exact same CSS to bootstrap the page, and here, once again, is where we'll be doing our CSS. First up is the line height property. By using the line height property, we can adjust the leading of our paragraphs. Leading refers to the space between the lines. Let's try it out. So I'm just going to type line height, and I'll give it a value of 3 ems. And when I switch back to the browser and refresh, this is an extreme example, but you can see by how adding some line height can dramatically improve the readability of text. When creating websites and setting text, I hardly ever leave the line height at the browser default because I find it crunches the lines too close together to be easily readable. Next up is letter spacing. The letter spacing property, as you might have guessed, allows you to adjust the space between individual letters. So let's try that out. So we'll delete what we have and we'll type letter dash spacing, and we'll give this one a value of 30 pixels. And I'll switch over and refresh. And once again, this is an extreme example, but sometimes letter spacing can be a more subtle effect. So I wanted to push it to the limit here so that you can see exactly what we're changing. Now, just as you can adjust the space between letters, you can also adjust the space between complete words using the word spacing property. So let's see it in action. Delete what we have, and I'll type word dash spacing, and we'll give this one a value of 3 ems. And when we switch back and refresh, you can see that this is more word spacing than you'd ever need, but you get the idea. Now, next up is text align, which is a property that you're probably more familiar with from using a word processing application. With text align, you can set your text to be left aligned, right aligned, centered, or even justified. So let's try right justifying the text. So I'll switch back to the text editor, and I'll type text align, and we'll give it a value of right. And when we switch back and refresh, you can see that our text is now aligned to the right. You could also type left, center, or justified in place of the word right to get different effects. Moving on, the next property I'm going to show you, and the last property I'm going to show you, is white space. With the white space property, you can do a few things, but the most common usage is to prevent text from wrapping around to the next line. So here's how it works. I'll switch back to my text editor, and we'll delete what we have, and I'll type white dash space, and we'll give it a value of no wrap as all one word. We'll save that out and refresh our browser, and as you can see, all of our paragraph text is now along one single long line. This might look useless in this context, but it's actually quite handy if you want to prevent a shorter block of text from wrapping around. That about wraps it up for text. In upcoming videos, we'll be learning even more CSS properties.